Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel English Achieve. Today's video is about something that can completely change the way you learn, how to think in English. Now, in this with me. You are standing in front of a group of people. Someone asks you a question in English. Your heart beats fast. You understand the question, but inside your head, your thoughts are moving too slowly. First, you think in your own language. Then you try to translate it into English. Then you search for the right words. By the time you speak, you already feel nervous. The moment is gone. Have you ever felt like this? Most English learners have. And it is not because you don't know English. It is because you are not thinking in English. Here is the truth. When you think in English, you become free. You don't waste time translating. You don't stop yourself with fear. You speak naturally. You enjoy the moment. And that is the secret of becoming confident in English. But how do you reach this point? How do you train your mind to think in English every day? That is exactly what we are going to talk about in this video. Stay with me until the end, because I will share powerful lessons and motivational steps that will change the way you learn forever. Part 1. The Power of Thinking in English. Thinking in English is not only about speaking better. It is much bigger than that. It is about transforming your brain. It is about changing the way you see the world, the way you process information, and the way you express yourself. You see, when you change your thoughts, you change your life. And when you choose to think in English, you open the door to a whole new world of opportunities. Right now, maybe your thoughts feel like a busy marketplace. Imagine walking into a crowded market. There are many people shouting at the same time. One person is selling fruits, another is selling clothes, and another is calling your name. Everything is loud, confusing, and noisy. That is how your brain feels when you are not thinking in English. One voice inside your mind speaks in your native language. Another voice tries to translate. Another one tells you, "Be careful, don't make a mistake." And then another voice whispers, "What if people laugh at you?" All this noise makes you weak. It slows you down. It makes you lose confidence. But imagine this. What if all that noise disappeared? What if, instead of 5 voices, there was only one? What if your mind became calm, focused, and clear? That is what happens when you decide to think in English. Your mind becomes simple, one language, one voice, one focus. Instead of wasting energy switching between languages, you put all your energy into expressing your ideas. That is power. Here is something interesting about the human brain. Your brain loves patterns. The brain is like a machine that saves energy by repeating what it already knows. The more you repeat a certain habit, the stronger it becomes. For example, if every morning you drink tea, your brain remembers the pattern. Wake up, drink tea. If you repeat this for years, you don't even think about it anymore. You just do it naturally. Language works the same way. If you keep thinking in your native language first, that pattern becomes stronger. Every time you translate, you are training your brain to depend on translation. But if you practice thinking directly in English, that becomes the new pattern. At first it feels difficult. At first it feels unnatural. But over time your brain accepts it. Slowly, English becomes your default mode. This is how your brain rewires itself. This is how fluency is born. Now let's take an example. Imagine you see a red car passing by. If your first thought is in your language, that is a red car, and then you translate into English, you are training your brain to depend on 2 steps. But if you train yourself to immediately think red car in English, you have only 1 step. The more you do this, the faster your mind becomes. Over time, you don't even notice it. You see the car and the word red car appears instantly in your mind without translation. That is the true power of thinking in English. But thinking in English is not only about speed, it is about freedom. When you stop translating, you free your mind from fear. You stop worrying about mistakes because your thoughts are already flowing in English. You stop hesitating because your brain is not busy switching between languages. You start to enjoy the moment. You start to feel confident. And when you feel confident, your English becomes more natural, more powerful, and more expressive. Think about athletes. A runner does not think about each step. A basketball player does not think about how to move their arms. Why? Because their body has been trained through repetition. In the same way, when you train your brain to think in English, your words flow naturally. You don't need to plan. You don't need to translate. You just live in English. This may sound difficult, but let me remind you, your brain is strong. It can adapt. It can change. You have already proven this. Because when you were a child, you learned your first language without translation. You didn't sit down with a dictionary. You didn't study grammar books. You learned naturally by listening, repeating, and connecting words to experiences. The same process can happen with English if you give your brain the chance. So thinking in English is not only possible, it is natural. Your brain is ready for it. But like a muscle, it needs training. If you never exercise a muscle, it stays weak. But if you train it every day, it grows stronger. The more you think in English, the more powerful your mind becomes. And here's the final truth for this section. Every time you choose to think in English, even for small moments, you are creating change. You are building a new version of yourself. You are not just learning English. You're training your brain for success, clarity, and freedom. Part 2. Why translation holds you back. Let's face the truth. Translation feels safe. Many English learners believe that if they translate everything in their head before speaking, they will sound correct. It feels like a safety net. You think, if I translate first, I will not make a mistake. But here is the hidden truth. Translation is actually a trap. It slows you down, it keeps you dependent, it makes you nervous, and it stops you from becoming fluent. Think about this example. Imagine you are driving a car. You want to go to a new place. But every time you reach a corner, you stop, roll down the window, and ask someone for directions. Then you drive a little more, stop again, and ask another person. You repeat this again and again. Will you ever reach your destination quickly? Of course not. You will waste time, you will lose energy, and you will feel frustrated. That is exactly what happens when you translate while speaking English. Every sentence becomes a long journey with too many stops. By the time you say something, the moment is gone. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine driving with a GPS. You know where to go. You don't need to stop every 2 minutes. You just drive directly and arrive smoothly. Thinking in English works the same way. When you stop translating, you begin to drive directly. You don't pause, you don't wait, you just move forward with confidence. But translation has another big problem. Languages are not perfect mirrors. Your native language and English are different in many ways. Sometimes the order of words is different. Sometimes one word in your language has no exact English word. Sometimes the tone or style is completely opposite. This is why a direct translation often sounds strange, unnatural, or even funny. People may not understand you clearly, not because you are wrong, but because the sentence does not fit in English. For example, in many languages people say, "close the light." If you translate this directly into English, people may look at you strangely. In English, the natural way is, "turn off the light." The meaning is the same, but the expression is different. If you depend on translation, you will always carry these mistakes with you. But if you train yourself to think directly in English, you will begin to use the natural expressions automatically. And here is another truth. Translation is slow. Your brain is powerful, but translation forces it to work in 2 steps. Step 1. Think in your language. Step 2. Translate into English. This extra step makes your speaking slower and less confident. People may interrupt you. You may feel nervous, and worst of all, you may lose the courage to continue. So what is the solution? The answer is simple but powerful. Stop depending on translation. Of course, you cannot change this habit in one day. But you can start small. Begin with easy things. When you wake up, don't think in your language, "I am tired." Instead, say it in English, "I am tired." When you eat breakfast, don't think in your language, "The bread is fresh." Say in your mind, "The bread is fresh." When you walk outside, don't think, "The sky is blue" in your language. Think it directly in English. Each of these moments may feel small, but together they build a habit. Your brain learns to connect the world around you directly to English. Over time, this becomes natural. You no longer stop to translate. You simply live in English. Remember, translation is like a crutch. It helps you walk in the beginning. But if you keep using it forever, your legs will never grow strong. To become fluent, you must throw away the crutch and trust yourself to walk freely. Yes, you may fall sometimes. Yes, you may make mistakes. But each mistake will make you stronger. So from today, challenge yourself. Don't translate every word. Don't depend on your first language like a shadow. Start small, think in English about simple things, and let your mind grow step by step. The more you practice, the faster you will break free from translation. And once you break free, you will feel a new kind of confidence. The confidence of someone who does not just speak English, but thinks in English. Part 3. Start small, grow big. Some learners make a mistake. They try to think about everything in English from day one. This feels too hard, so they give up. Don't make that mistake. Your brain is like a garden. If you plant too many seeds at the same time, nothing grows well. But if you plant a few seeds, water them every day, and give them sunlight, they become strong. Thinking in English works the same way. Start with small thoughts, keep them simple. Repeat them many times, let them grow. Begin with easy moments that happen every day. When you wake up, say to yourself, "Good morning." When you stand up, think, "I feel awake." When you open the window, think, "Fresh air." When you drink water, think, "This water is cold." When you look outside, say, "The sky is bright today." These sentences are short and clear. They are not perfect poetry, and they do not need to be. They are seeds. Each small English thought tells your brain, "This is normal. This is how we think now." Use your daily actions as anchors for English. Every time you touch your phone, think, "I'm checking my messages." Every time you put on your shoes, think, "I'm getting ready." Every time you sit down to eat, think, "This food smells good." When you walk to work or school, think, "I'm on my way." When you finish a task, think, "I did it." These anchors are powerful because they repeat every day. Repetition is the water that helps your English garden grow. There is a simple ladder you can climb. See, name, describe, and then tell a tiny story. First, just see and name. Cup. Next, make it 2 words. Blue cup. Then make a short sentence. The cup is blue. Finally, tell a tiny story. The cup is blue. I bought it yesterday. It is my favorite cup. This ladder is easy to use anywhere. Look around you now. Choose one object. Name it. Describe it. Tell a tiny story about it. Do this many times each day, and your brain will begin to think in English without effort. Time helps too, so make small English moments. Give yourself 30 seconds of English before a task. For example, before you start work, whisper to yourself, I will focus now, one task at a time. Before you enter a room, think, I will be calm and kind. Before you sleep, think, I did my best today. These short English moments are like quick exercises for your mind. They are easy to do, so you will actually do them. Many short, easy wins create big change. You can also carry pocket phrases that you use many times a day. Choose 5 to begin. I'm getting ready, I'm on my way, let me check. That's okay, and I don't know yet. Use them as your inner voice. When someone asks you for something, think, let me check. When plans change, think, that's okay. When you feel unsure, think, I don't know yet, and then add, but I will learn. These pocket phrases make your thoughts simple and strong. They are always ready, like tools in your pocket. As you get comfortable with simple sentences, build short daily stories. Keep them very small. In the morning, think, today I will finish one important task. At lunch, think, I worked well. I need a small break. In the evening, think, I learned something new. At night, make a 3-sentence story of your day. I woke up early, I finished my project, I feel proud. This tiny story trains your brain to connect events in English. Over time, your stories will grow longer without extra stress. What if you don't know a word? Do not stop and translate. Keep going with easy words. If you forget umbrella, say the rain thing. If you forget charger, say the cable for my phone. If you forget nephew, say my brother's son. This is not wrong. It is smart. You are training your brain to stay in English. Later, you can learn the exact word. For now, use simple roads to keep moving forward. Fluency is not about fancy words. It is about flow. Plan your growth like levels in a game. In week 1, focus on single words and 2-word phrases. Blue sky, hot tea, busy street. In week 2, build short sentences. The sky is blue. The tea is hot. The street is busy. In week 3, tell tiny stories with 3 or 4 sentences. In week 4, add feeling and reason. The sky is blue today and it makes me calm. The tea is hot, so I will drink slowly. Each week you move one step higher, and each step feels natural because it is small. Remember, small does not mean weak. Small means possible. Small means consistent. Consistent means powerful. If you think one small English sentence 10 times a day, that is 70 times in a week and 300 times in a month. Your brain cannot ignore that much practice. It will accept English as normal. It will choose English first. That is how you grow from a seed to a sprout, from a sprout to a tree, and from a tree to a forest. Step by step, thought by thought, you will think in English. Part 4. Surround yourself with English. Think about this for a moment. A fish does not take swimming lessons. A fish does not read a book that says how to swim. It does not sit in a classroom where a teacher tells it, move your fins like this. No, a fish just swims. Why? Because water is everywhere. The fish is born into water, it grows in water, and water surrounds it at all times. Swimming is natural because it is part of its environment. Now ask yourself this: how can you make English feel as natural as water? The answer is simple. You must surround yourself with English. You must create your own English world, where English is not only something you study for 1 or 2 hours, but something that lives with you every day, every moment. Some learners make a big mistake. They only touch English during their study time. Maybe they open a textbook for 30 minutes, do some grammar exercises, then close the book. After that, they return to their native language for the rest of the day. In this way, English is just a small part of their life. like a visitor who knocks on the door and leaves quickly. If you want to think in English, you must change this. English cannot be just a visitor, it must become your daily companion. How do you do this? By surrounding yourself with English. Let us look at some simple but powerful ways. First, listen to English songs. Music is a gift. You can play it when you are cooking, cleaning, traveling, or exercising. When you listen to English songs, the rhythm and melody carry the words deep into your memory. Even if you do not understand every word, your ears are learning. They are catching the sounds, the flow, the accent, and the emotion behind the words. You may find yourself repeating a chorus again and again. That is training. That is building your English muscle. Second, watch movies, shows, or YouTube videos in English. But here's the secret. Choose something you enjoy. If you love comedy, watch comedies. If you love motivation, watch motivational talks. If you love cooking, watch cooking shows. When you enjoy what you watch, your brain opens up. You're not only learning English, you are living through English. Subtitles can help, but try not to depend on them too much. At first, use subtitles in your language, then switch to English subtitles. Finally, try watching without any subtitles. This process will train your ears to understand naturally. Third, read in English. Do not start with heavy books or complicated articles. Begin with simple stories, short news pieces, or even children's books. Some learners feel shy about reading children's books, but remember, children's books are full of clear, basic vocabulary. That is perfect for building your foundation. When you read every day, even for just 10 minutes, you add bricks to your English house. Page by page, word by word, you grow stronger. Fourth, talk to yourself in English. This may sound strange, but it is one of the most powerful methods. Imagine you are the narrator of your own life. When you wake up, say, "I am getting out of bed now." When you make breakfast, say, "I am cooking eggs. They smell delicious." When you go outside, say, "The air feels fresh today." You are practicing without pressure, without fear of mistakes. You are teaching your brain to choose English words first. Slowly, it becomes a habit. This is not only learning, this is living. You are changing the environment around you. Just as a fish swims in water, you are beginning to swim in English. When English is all around you, songs in your ears, movies on your screen, books in your hands, and words on your tongue, your brain starts to feel it as normal. You no longer force yourself to study English. Instead, English becomes a natural part of your day. And here lies the real magic. When English becomes normal, you begin to think in English without effort. You are no longer translating. You are not asking, "How do I say this in English?" The words simply come. You hear them in your head. You feel them in your thoughts. English becomes your second nature. So ask yourself, are you ready to build your English world? You don't need to move to another country. You don't need expensive courses. You can create your English world right where you are with the resources you already have. The internet is full of free music, free videos, free articles, and endless opportunities to practice. What you need most is not money or travel. It is the decision to surround yourself with English every single day. Remember, the fish does not struggle to swim because the water carries it. In the same way, when you live in English, the language will carry you. Step by step, word by word, English will stop being something outside of you. It will become part of you. Part 5. Speak without fear. Many English learners stay silent. They hear others speaking confidently and feel nervous. They worry about mistakes. What if I say it wrong? What if people laugh at me? These thoughts stop them from speaking at all. But here is a secret that few people tell you. Mistakes are not your enemies. They are your teachers. Every mistake you make is a step forward. Every wrong word, every awkward sentence, every small error helps you learn and grow. Mistakes are not failures. They are proof that you are trying. Think about a child learning to walk. A small baby does not stand up and walk perfectly the first time. The baby falls many times. Sometimes the baby falls forward, sometimes backward. Every fall hurts a little, but the child does not give up. The baby tries again and again, slowly learning balance, slowly learning to walk. The same is true for English. If you are afraid of mistakes, you will never move forward. If you speak despite fear, you will grow faster than you ever imagined. Speaking without fear is a choice. It is a decision to trust yourself, even if your words are not perfect. At first, it may feel uncomfortable. You may stumble over words. You may pause mid-sentence. People may correct you. But all of this is part of the learning process. Courage is not the absence of mistakes. Courage is speaking anyway. Every time you speak with courage, you're training your brain to trust your English. Here is another important truth. Fear slows down your thinking. When you are afraid of speaking, your brain starts overthinking. You think, should I say this word? Should I change it? What if I sound foolish? This overthinking creates blocks. Your words get stuck in your head. You lose confidence. But when you speak without fear, you bypass this trap. You allow your brain to produce English naturally. You give your thoughts freedom. And once your mind trusts itself, thinking in English becomes much easier. You can start small. Speak English in private first. Talk to yourself about your day. Describe what you see, what you feel, what you are doing. For example, say, I am making tea. It smells good. The sun is shining. It feels warm. I am learning English, and I am happy. Speaking alone in English trains your voice, your tongue, and your mind without pressure. After a few days or weeks, you will feel ready to speak to others. Then practice with someone patient, a friend, a teacher, or even an online partner. Do not worry about perfection. Focus on expressing yourself. Remember, your goal is communication, not perfection. When you speak with honesty and courage, people will understand you. They may correct small mistakes, but that correction is another tool for learning. Mistakes become lessons, not shame. It also helps to celebrate small victories. Every time you speak without fear, even for a sentence or two, give yourself credit. Think, I did it. I spoke in English. These small wins build confidence over time. Confidence is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Confidence allows you to speak faster, think in English more easily, and enjoy the process of learning. Another tip is to change your perspective about mistakes. Instead of thinking, I am wrong, think, I am learning. Instead of fearing judgment, think, I am growing. Mistakes are like stepping stones. You may stumble, but each step carries you closer to fluency. The most fluent speakers in the world made thousands of mistakes when they were beginners. They did not stop. They kept going. You can do the same. Finally, remember this. Fluency is not about speaking perfectly. It is about speaking with courage, thinking freely, and expressing your ideas. When you speak without fear, your mind opens. You stop translating as much. You start thinking in English. Words come naturally. Your brain forms new connections, and your confidence grows every day. So, from today, make a promise to yourself. Do not fear mistakes. Speak boldly. Speak even if your grammar is not perfect. Speak even if your words are not fully correct. Speak because every time you speak, your brain, your mouth, and your confidence are training together. Speak because courage will make you fluent. Speak because this is the path to thinking in English naturally. Part 6. Turn English into emotion. Do you remember your favorite song? The one that makes your heart beat a little faster. The one that brings a smile to your face. The one that sometimes makes you feel nostalgic? When you hear it, you do not just hear the notes or the lyrics. You feel something deep inside. That is the power of emotion. Emotion creates memory. Emotion makes experiences stick. It is not only the sound or the words, it is how your heart connects to them. And this is exactly what you need to do with English. If you want to think in English naturally, you cannot treat words like boring objects on a page. Words are not just tools for communication. They are bridges to feelings, experiences, and life itself. Many learners make the mistake of memorizing lists of words mechanically. They try to remember house means house, tree means tree, run means run, without any feeling. But this type of memorization is weak. It is like planting a seed without soil or water. It will not grow. Words need life. Words need emotion. Words need connection. Here is how to turn English into emotion. When you say a word, picture it vividly in your mind. Imagine it as a real experience. For example, the word freedom. Don't just say it silently in your head. Imagine yourself running on a wide beach, the wind in your hair, the sun on your face. Feel the joy, the lightness, the excitement. That is freedom. Your brain will never forget it. The word is no longer just a label. It is a feeling you carry. Another example is love. Close your eyes and think of someone you care about. Feel their smile. Feel their warmth. Feel the happiness you experience with them. When you say love, your brain remembers that emotion. The word becomes alive. It is no longer abstract or mechanical. It connects to your heart. And when English words carry emotion, they no longer live only in your memory. They live in your soul. Even words like victory or success can carry strong feelings. When you say them, imagine your own achievements. Picture the moment you succeed in something important. Feel the energy, the adrenaline, the pride. Let the words lift you. This emotional connection is what makes learning English exciting, natural, and unforgettable. When your brain links words to feelings, it does not need to translate anymore. English becomes part of your internal world, a language of both thought and emotion. This method works not only for individual words, but also for sentences and stories. When you say a sentence like, "I am happy today," feel it. Think of a real moment that makes you happy. When you say, "I am strong," remember a time you overcame a challenge. When you say, "I believe in myself," feel the power of self-trust deep in your chest. These feelings make your English live. They make your sentences powerful. They make your thoughts flow naturally. You can also use music, movies, or even memories to strengthen this emotional learning. Listen to a song in English and try to feel what the singer is expressing. Watch a movie scene in English and imagine yourself in the story. Read a paragraph and connect the words to your own experiences. Your brain learns better when learning is emotional. Emotion acts like glue, binding English to your memory, your imagination, and your natural thinking process. Another tip is to speak English aloud while feeling emotion. Don't just say words mechanically. Let your voice carry your feelings. If you say, "I am excited," feel that excitement and let it show in your voice. If you say, "I am sad," allow the sadness to touch your heart. This practice trains not only your mind, but also your mouth and your ears. You begin to speak English in the way you feel it, not just in the way you think. Finally, remember this truth. Emotion makes English unforgettable. Words that touch your heart become part of your natural thinking. They appear instantly in your mind when you need them. You do not stop to translate. You do not pause to search. You feel, you think, you express, all in English. When your English is alive with emotion, your thoughts flow freely. You speak confidently. You understand naturally. You live the language, not just study it. So start today. Connect English to your life, to your memories, to your feelings. Make each word, each sentence, each thought a small emotional experience. Turn English into joy, into excitement, into love, into victory. When English lives in your heart, it will live in your mind. And when it lives in your mind, thinking in English will feel as natural as breathing. Part 7. Daily Practice, the English Diary. Here is a powerful exercise that can change the way you think in English. Keep an English diary. Many learners overlook this simple tool, but it is one of the most effective ways to train your brain. Writing in English every day is not about perfect grammar, fancy words, or long sentences. It is about creating a habit that makes your mind think in English naturally. It is about connecting your thoughts, your life, and your experiences directly to the language you are learning. Start small. You do not need to write pages and pages at first. Even a few sentences each night are enough to begin. For example, you can write, "Today I went to work. I was tired, but I finished my tasks." Simple, clear, and true. This sentence does not have to be perfect. Its purpose is to get your mind to express your day in English. Over time, these small sentences accumulate. They build a habit. Your brain learns to associate your daily experiences with English words and structures. Another example. I met my friend. We laughed a lot. Notice how even a short sentence can carry feeling. You are not just translating. You are describing. You are recalling an experience and expressing it in English. This is exactly what thinking in English is. Connecting your life to the language naturally, without stopping to translate. Each sentence is a small training session for your mind. Each sentence teaches your brain to produce English directly. You can also include feelings, small observations, or moments of reflection. For instance, I feel proud of myself. The weather was warm and sunny. I tried something new today. These short statements do more than report your day. They teach your brain to express thoughts and emotions in English. Slowly, you start to see your life through English words. You notice things differently. Your mind begins to process experiences in English automatically. The key is consistency. 5 minutes every night is better than 1 hour once a week. Your brain grows through repetition, not through occasional effort. Every night, when you take your diary and write a few sentences, you are practicing English in the most natural way. You are not memorizing rules or lists. You are expressing yourself. You are living English. Do not worry about mistakes. Grammar, spelling, and vocabulary will improve naturally over time. The diary is not for judgment. It is for growth. Every time you write, your brain forms connections between your thoughts and English words. Even if you write, "I go to the store," instead of "I went to the store," your mind is learning. You are building fluency, one sentence at a time. Mistakes are part of the process. They are signs that your brain is working, exploring, and learning. Another advantage of keeping an English diary is that it creates reflection. When you write about your day, you observe your life. You notice patterns, feelings, and small victories. You may write, "I helped my friend today. I felt happy." Later, you read back and realize how much you have grown. Your diary becomes both a language tool and a personal record of progress. It trains your mind and nurtures your soul. Over time, you can increase the challenge. Write longer sentences, describe more details, express thoughts, dreams, and opinions. For example, I tried a new recipe today. It was difficult, but I learned a lot. I am proud of myself for not giving up. Longer sentences teach your brain to organize ideas in English. Your mind practices creating stories, reasoning, and expressing emotions naturally. Step by step, your diary grows, and so does your fluency. You can also include future plans. Tomorrow I will wake up early and exercise. I want to finish my work before lunch. Or reflections on challenges. I felt nervous in the meeting, but I spoke slowly and clearly. I did my best. This practice trains your brain not only to describe the past but also to think about the present and the future in English. It creates a full cycle of English thought in your mind. Finally, remember this truth. The English diary is more than writing. It is thinking, feeling, and living in English. Every night you write, your brain practices thinking directly in English. Over time, you will notice a change. When you wake up, your thoughts will naturally appear in English. When you plan your day, your mind will automatically choose English words. Speaking, listening, and understanding will become easier. Your diary is like a seed planted in your mind, growing silently, steadily, and powerfully. So, start today. Take a notebook or your phone. Write 3, 5, or 10 sentences about your day. Keep it simple. Keep it consistent. Don't worry about mistakes. Focus on expressing yourself. Every sentence is a step toward thinking in English naturally. Every night you practice, you're building a habit that will make English a part of your life. In a few months, you will look back and see incredible progress. You will not only speak English better, you will think in English naturally. Part 8. The Mindset of Winners. Here is the most important truth about learning English and thinking in English. Fluency is not about talent. It is not about having a perfect memory or a natural gift for languages. Fluency is about mindset. The way you think, the way you act, and the way you believe in yourself make all the difference. Many learners stop too soon because they think, I am not talented enough, or I am too old to learn. But winners do not think this way. Winners focus on action, on consistency, and on belief. Winners do not say, I cannot do this. Winners say, I will do this, step by step. They know that success is not a sudden miracle. It is a series of small, consistent actions done every day. Every word learned, every sentence written, every moment spent thinking in English builds fluency, and every moment of doubt slows you down. If you spend your time thinking, I am not good enough, your brain listens. It stops searching for solutions. It stops trying. But when you say, I will do this, step by step, your brain starts to work, to find ways, to explore possibilities, and to create results. So the first step is belief. You must truly believe that you can think in English. Say it to yourself, I can do this. I am learning. I will improve every day. Do not just say it once. Repeat it. Repeat it in the morning. Repeat it during the day. Repeat it at night. Your brain is like a garden. Belief is the sunlight. Without sunlight, nothing grows. With sunlight, even small seeds become strong trees. Every time you remind yourself that you can do it, your mind strengthens its connection to English. Next, take action. Winners understand that mindset alone is not enough. Action is the bridge between belief and results. Thinking in English, speaking in English, writing in English, and surrounding yourself with English every day. These are the actions that bring your mindset to life. You may not see progress immediately. You may stumble, you may feel tired. But winners keep moving. They do not wait for perfection. They do not wait for the right moment. They take consistent action, and each small step compounds over time. A key part of the winner's mindset is saying strong, clear statements to yourself. Decide today to speak your new rules aloud. I will not translate anymore. I will think in English every day. I will trust the process. These are not empty words. They are commitments to yourself. Each time you repeat them, your mind accepts them as truth. Your brain begins to act as if these rules are real, and over time, your thoughts will follow. What you repeat in your mind shapes your reality. Winners also understand the importance of patience. Fluency is not instant. Thinking in English is not learned overnight. It is like building a muscle or growing a tree. You water it every day. You give it sunlight, you wait, and then slowly but surely, you see results. When you practice every day, even for a few minutes, your brain rewires itself. Words appear faster. Thoughts flow more naturally. Confidence grows, but it requires patience. Impatience and doubt are the enemies of progress. Winners stay calm and trust the process. Another important quality of winners is courage. You will make mistakes. You will forget words. You may speak slowly or feel embarrassed. That is normal. But winners do not let fear control them. They speak anyway. They try anyway. They push forward anyway. Each courageous step strengthens both your mind and your English. Courage allows your brain to trust itself. Confidence allows your thoughts to flow in English naturally. Finally, remember this. Learning to think in English is not just about language. It is about training your character. Every day you commit to thinking in English, you are building discipline. Every time you speak despite fear, you are building courage. Every time you trust the process, you are building patience and resilience. This mindset will not only make you fluent in English, it will improve your life in every area. You will become a person who can face challenges, take consistent action, and achieve long-term goals. So today, make a choice. Choose the mindset of a winner. Decide that you will believe, act, and persist. Repeat your statements. I will not translate anymore. I will think in English every day. I will trust the process. Say them until your brain accepts them. Act on them every day. Be patient, be courageous, and stay consistent. When you do this, fluency will follow naturally. Your thoughts, your actions, and your life will align with English, and success will become part of your reality. Final words for you. My dear friend, let me leave you with this truth. Thinking in English is freedom. It is not just a way to speak or write better. It is not only about grammar, vocabulary, or pronunciation. Thinking in English is a key to unlocking a new way of living, a new way of experiencing the world. When you think in English, you break the barriers that hold you back. You connect with people around the globe. You open your mind to new ideas, new perspectives, and new opportunities. Every thought in English is a step toward a larger, richer, and more confident life. Do not underestimate the power of this habit. Each small sentence you speak in English, each word you write in your diary, each moment you surround yourself with English is like planting a seed in your mind. At first, the changes may seem small. You may still pause, stumble, or search for the right word. That is normal. Progress is not always visible in the beginning, but the seeds you plant today will grow. Slowly, day by day, thought by thought, your mind will naturally begin to think in English without stopping to translate. It will take patience. Real transformation never happens overnight. Even the most successful learners started with small steps. They made mistakes. They spoke slowly. They felt nervous. And yet, they did not give up. They kept practicing, they kept thinking, and they kept acting. You must do the same. Trust the process, trust yourself, and trust the small steps. Every effort you make, no matter how tiny it seems, moves you closer to fluency. And when that moment comes, when one day you wake up and realize, I am not translating anymore, I am thinking in English, you will understand the true power of your journey. That day will be unforgettable. Your confidence will soar. Your brain will operate faster. Your speech will flow more naturally, and your thoughts will align with English automatically. That day marks a milestone, not only in language learning, but in your personal growth. You will see that fluency is not only about English, it is about discipline, courage, and persistence. So, my friend, do not wait. Start today, start small. Think in English when you wake up. Think in English when you see, feel, or experience something simple. Keep a diary. Speak to yourself. Surround yourself with English in music, movies, books, and conversations. Each choice, each thought, each word in English is a step toward the confident, fluent version of yourself. Remember, thinking in English is not just about language. It is a way of training your mind, your habits, and your character. It is about becoming the person who acts boldly, thinks clearly, and lives fully. Start today. Plant your seeds, water them every day, and watch your English grow into a forest of freedom, confidence, and possibility. One day you will look back and realize that every thought, every small effort, and every moment spent thinking in English brought you closer to the life you dreamed of. And that, my friend, is the power of thinking in English.